What is up, people, and welcome back to the finale of Season 3. Yes, that is right, we are here. We are at the final round of this Season 3, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And if you have missed Season 1, Season 2, and the rest of this Season 3, then you can go catch up with the card annotation in the top right-hand corner of your screens. But going into today's race, the gap at the top of the championship between Sainz and myself is 19 points, which means it is still possible for us to win the Drivers' Championship. All we have to do is win the race. It's going to be a huge mountain to climb to try and do that, and also hope that Sainz finishes 8th or below. If he finishes 7th, we will be equal on points, but he will beat me because he has 8 race wins, whereas I would, in theory, have 6 if I do win today's race. So that is the task that is ahead of us. But just because we are in a championship battle doesn't mean that we don't have to think about next season. So here we are out on the track, doing some of the practice sessions, getting the resource points to hopefully be able to upgrade our car quite a bit at the start of Season 4. So there we are doing the track acclimatization, getting a purple score, getting a lot of resource points for that, which we are very, very happy about. And in the end of the day, finishing 22nd in the practice session. For FP1, practice times don't really mean a lot, neither do they in FP2, and here we are doing the tyre wear management, getting a purple score on that, which means we get another load of 50 resource points. So resource points galore at the moment. We finished 20th in that session, just beating the 2 Saubers, which isn't exactly too much of a surprise because the Saubers are awful in this career mode. And then we went out, we did the qualifying objective, just about beating that though by 40 thousandths of a second. And getting the green score, so 30 points there, not quite the 50, but still 3rd place in practice 3 is a really good result, and hopefully that will set us up very nicely for qualifying. Remember, we need to win the race in order to have a chance to be crowned the world champion. So the best chance to do that is, of course, lining up in pole position. Can we get that P1 in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix qualifying? Let's find out as we head over to the qualifying session. It's qualifying time here at the Yas Marina circuit for the final round of Season 3 here at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Going round for our first lap in qualifying in Q1, coming down towards the line. What time is it going to be? It's a 1:39.342. Currently 7th place in the qualifying session on the super soft tyres, and it was enough to get us into Q2 there. So a great lap time on the super soft tyres gets us into Q2, which means we have 2 sets of ultra soft tyres available to use in this next session. Here we are coming round the final corner once again, down towards line. Was the lap time good enough for us? A 1:38.747. Currently 3rd position, just beating Rio Haryanto, just behind Pascal Wehrlein and Carlos Sainz, but that lap was good enough to get us into Q3. So getting into the qualifying sessions without using too many tyres. So that's a really good job indeed in qualifying. So here we are in the top 10 shootout, going round for our first lap here in Q3. Across the line, it's a 1:38.46. So a good lap there in qualifying. Currently in 3rd place behind Sebastian Vettel and my teammate Nico Hülkenberg. But cutting ahead later on in the session, down to 6th place now behind Sebastian Vettel, but so far 8 tenths quicker than our previous best lap time. Down towards the line. Where will this lap time put us? It is pole position at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Nearly a second quicker than our previous best lap time, a 1:37.4. What a fantastic lap in this qualifying session, beating Carlos Sainz by 3 tenths of a second, beating Fernando Alonso by the same margin as well. And that is an absolute stunner of a lap here in this qualifying session. Do not know where I pulled that out of the bag, but that is exactly what I need to do in order to set myself up to try and win this Drivers' Championship. So let's go through the grid for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I line up in pole position with Carlos Sainz, my championship rival, alongside me in 2nd. We're going to need him to drop down a few positions in the race in order to be crowned a 2-time world champion. Fernando Alonso, he lines up on the 2nd row with my teammate Nico Hülkenberg alongside him. It's Max Verstappen in 5th place with Sebastian Vettel alongside him in 6th, Daniel Ricciardo in 7th, and Jolyon Palmer in 8th, with an all-manner 5th row, Rio Haryanto 9th, and Pascal Wehrlein down in 10th position, failing to set a lap time. So I guess those two did not have the best of the qualifying sessions, didn't really have a clean session, and hence why they are so far down the standings. So here we are, the final race of the season. 20 races, and it all comes down to this. 1 race left to go. 19 points separate us in the championship. Will it be myself becoming a 2-time world champion, or will Carlos Sainz get his first ever championship in Formula 1? Let's find out as we head over to the race for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It's race day here at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the final race of the season. 21 races, and it all comes down to this here at the Yas Marina circuit. We line up in pole position with our championship rival, Carlos Sainz, alongside us in second. 19 points is the gap. We need to win the race and hope that Carlos Sainz finishes 8th or below. 7th will be good enough for Carlos Sainz to win that championship. There we are once again. First place with Carlos Sainz in second. There is the championship at this stage of the season. 301 points is what Carlos Sainz is on. The Constructors' Championship was wrapped up in Mexico by Toro Rosso. They've had a fantastic season with both Danny Kvyat and Carlos Sainz. So there we are, lining up in pole position, 137.499. A great lap in qualifying. Don't know where I pulled that out of the bag, but I was extremely happy with that qualifying performance, doing exactly what I need to do in today's race. So here we are, lining up in pole position, the front of the grid, and we're going to need a great start in order to cement this first position and try and win our second championship. Looking at the race strategy for today, starting on the ultra soft tyres, pitting for a set of softs, and then possibly pitting for a set of super softs. Tyre wear from the tyre wear management was really good, so we may stick with that, and if we have to, we'll change it later on in the race. We're also going to go for a bit more fuel than usual, so we can pump rich mix right at the start of the race. Here we are, getting underway for the formation lap. We're just going to take the car around all the way back to the starting grid, but all we have to do in this race is literally just drive off into the distance, try and win this race, and hope that Carlos Sainz comes in 8th or below. We could try and back up the pack like Lewis Hamilton did in real life, but I don't think that will help me out too much, as Carlos Sainz needs to come 7th and not 4th. But let's head back to the starting grid for today's race. Here we are then on the grid for the final race of the season. The lights coming on. It's 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It's a great start from myself going down towards turn 1. It didn't look like Carlos Sainz had the best of starts, so already a dramatic start to this championship battle between myself and Carlos Sainz. Yellow flags in sector 1. Not too sure what has gone on there. We'll have to look at a replay later on in the race. But going down in towards the chicane section, just ahead of Fernando Alonso and my teammate Nico Hulkenberg at the moment. It looks like the Red Bull has also got in front of Carlos Sainz. So Carlos Sainz going from second all the way down to 5th position in this race. He needs to drop down 2 more positions in order for us to be... No, he needs to drop down 3 more positions in order for us to be the world champion. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen, as he is now going for the overtake on the left-hand side of the Red Bull of, I believe, Max Verstappen. That was going down in towards the chicane, side by side with the Red Bull driver. Who's going to come out on top between these two? Still going side by side, and Max Verstappen has forced him wide. They've collected the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel as well. And will Carlos Sainz lose out a whole load of positions? Struggling to get my words out. So much is happening on this opening lap. This could mean the championship for us. Remember, they're going 3 wide into the chicane. No funny business through there, and it looks like, unfortunately, Carlos Sainz has come out on top of that battle ahead of Max Verstappen. The manner of, I believe, Pascal Wehrlein or Ria Haryanto, not too sure which one it is, but Carlos Sainz is up into 4th position, doing exactly what he needs to do to try and win his first ever championship. Right then, let's have a look at a replay at this dreadful start from Carlos Sainz. So the lights go out. Looks like he just gets bogged down quite a bit there and just doesn't get the acceleration off the start. Going down in towards turn 1, he's already been overtaken by the Red Bull, the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel, putting his nose up the inside, but unfortunately for Carlos Sainz, he manages to just get round the outside of the Ferrari driver and just has to settle for 5th position for the time being behind the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. Right, let's have a look at what happened down in towards turn 1. So we're watching this Renault Manor battle, and both the Renaults sort of did the same thing. Tapped the Manors, and then Jolyon Palmer got sent into a spin, hit his own teammate, and got put into even more of a spin. A little bit of front wing damage down the front, a few cars running into the back of each other, but no real serious damage on to anybody's cars. We're watching on board with Nico Rosberg on as early as lap 2. It looks like the Haas and the Ferrari pushing each other wide. They've collected a Williams who's gone into a spin. It looks like there's a bit of a spin in the background, and a Sauber's got involved. Nico Rosberg is out of the race. The safety car has been deployed as well. So much action and drama in the opening stages of this season 3 finale. And I don't know how it's going to go at this stage in the race. I wasn't too sure whether I should come into the pits as well. My Ultra Softs will last usually till just after the safety car period, so it'll probably be wise to come into the pits. But going on to a different time, not too sure. In the end, I decided to go onto another set of ultra soft tyres because I know tyre wear is bad and I wouldn't have been able to make 2 sets of soft tyres last till the end of the race, even with a safety car. So I thought the best thing to do was go onto another set of ultra softs. I won't exactly burn them too much behind the safety car, and I won't lose too many positions because at this stage I already had quite a considerable gap to the rest of the field. As you can see, Nico Hulkenberg, who's running in 2nd or 3rd, just coming into his pit box now. So I do have a big gap over the rest of the field. It's only really the likes of the people running on the super softs and the soft tyres that are going to get ahead of me, and I actually come out of this pit lane in 5th position. So I don't lose out too many positions because of making that pit stop. I'm on a faster tyre compared to everybody in front of me, so it could be a good stint in this race to try and get past these guys after the safety car. Let's have a look at a replay of what brought out the safety car on board with Nico Rosberg. So those two just collecting each other. The Williams gets put into a spin. Nico Rosberg gets put into a spin, and Felipe Nasr, out of nowhere, doesn't even slam on the brakes, doesn't even think about slowing down, slams straight into Nico Rosberg. Let's watch on board with him. Yes, he just goes straight into Nico Rosberg. Nico Rosberg loses his tyre. He's out of the race, but Felipe Nasr, man, he did not even care at all about Nico Rosberg's race. Here is Felipe Massa getting put into a spin by the Haas and the Ferrari. And now we're back on board with the action as the safety car is coming in this lap. We've been bumped up into 3rd position after a few guys came into pits straight after the safety car. And here we are, still in 3rd place as Button and Magnussen shoot away for the race restart. It looks like they've got a really good restart compared to us, struggling with the temperature in these ultra soft tyres. I really struggled at the start of the safety car after the safety car came in with the temperature of these tyres. I just didn't feel the grip in these ultra soft tyres. I was struggling all over the place, like I was driving this Force India at the start of the season. Here we are on lap 6. Lewis Hamilton right to my tail now. We make a little mistake coming into the hotel section, run it wide, and that allowed Lewis Hamilton to get 3rd position away from us. So despite being on the quicker tyre, we are really struggling against the guys on the softs and the super softs. So we need to catch up to these guys and make sure that we get past them as soon as possible. However, we are very lucky in the fact that Kevin Magnussen actually has a problem so far in this race. He's backing up a few of the guys, but unfortunately Jenson Button has got through, but he is backing up Lewis Hamilton right now as we go through turn 3, right behind the Mercedes driver, down in towards turn 4 and turn 5. Looks like we've got a good exit, coming off the throttle just a little bit to get the inside line on Lewis Hamilton, side by side through the chicane. And we just about managed to squeeze out Lewis Hamilton and take back that 3rd position. Now we are right behind Kevin Magnussen in the Renault, my former team here in the final race of the season. Let's see how many upgrades we've done on this Force India, just showing how much quicker we are than the Renault car, going down into the chicane. Easy overtake at the end of the day on Kevin Magnussen, and we take back 2nd position in this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Running a little bit too wide into the chicane there. That allows Kevin Magnussen to get a good run down in towards the next chicane, but with those problems that he has at the moment, he actually can't catch us up. As Jenson Button now coming into the pits on as early as lap 8 on those super soft tyres. So he's now going on to, I'm guessing a set of softs, or it could be another set of super softs. I'm not too sure at the moment. But we're currently on these ultra soft tyres. We just need to push at this stage of the race, try and get a good gap as we go ahead to lap 11. And it is now time to come into the pits from these ultra softs. And it looks like we're coming into the pits at the same stage that everybody on the soft tyres is coming into the pits as well. It's Carlos Sainz running on those soft tyres. He'll be coming into the pits maybe a lap later because his teammate is in the pits right now. So we need a good pit stop here from the Force India team to make sure that we stay ahead of Danny Kvyat, because he is obviously battling with us for the lead of the race. And there we are, we do get out in front of him on lap 12, and now we can try and push on to win this race. We still have one more pit stop left in this race to go onto a set of soft tyres, but it's good to see that the strategy that we chose after the safety car is working out very well for us indeed. We're coming out just ahead of a Ferrari who actually splits myself and Danny Kvyat, getting ahead of Sebastian Vettel there. Now we're right behind Kevin Magnussen as we come through this final chicane down in towards this left-hander. Now before the fast right-hand corners, we're right behind Kevin Magnussen. We've got some great straight-line speed. At this stage, Kevin Magnussen's car is back to normal. So we go up the inside into this corner, squeezing up the inside. Unfortunately, though, we're just not late enough on the brakes to go for an overtake up the inside. But Kevin Magnussen and myself getting very close there through that right-hander. So it looks like now Carlos Sainz is deciding to come into the pits one lap later. So He's still doing a good job in this race. He's still currently in a position where he could win the World Championship. But because the safety cars come out, that has messed up a lot of the strategy. So we're just going to have to wait and see towards really the final couple of laps of the race to see where everybody stands in the race positions. Because Carlos Sainz could be, you know, far the field, but someone could be doing a one-stopper or a two-stopper in this race and beat him on strategy. So we just need to wait and see how it all pans out. But we're cutting ahead to the start of lap 13 on my race as we go up the inside there of Kevin Magnussen, getting the position away from the Renault driver and moving up into P2. And there's Carlos Sainz coming out of the pits, and he actually has a lot of cars ahead of him. So far, if we get past Kimi Räikkönen, we will be crowned world champion because Carlos Sainz is so far down the field. But like I said, a lot of other teams having to make pit stops as once again we're right behind a car coming through these fast right-handers. Are we going to make it up the inside this time around? We go for it up the inside of Kimi Räikkönen, locking up our front right tyre, but just about getting the car slowed down in time as we go into the hotel section and we take the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix on lap 13 of this race. And now we need to push like hell to try and keep it as we cut ahead to the end of lap 18. Start lap 19. Danny Kvyat now right on our tail at this midway stage of the race. He goes up the inside, down in towards turn 1. We're going to brake a little bit early, try and do a switchback move on the Toro Rosso driver, but unfortunately our tyres are just so worn at this stage that Danny Kvyat has better tyre wear just because he conserves his tyres better around this track. The AI are a lot better with tyre wear than myself around this track, and that's why he had the better traction out of the corner. But as we go down in towards the pit lane for our second stop in this race, we need a great pit stop here from the Force India team, just about getting the car slowed down for the line there. But we need a great pit stop from the team in order to jump Danny Kvyat in the pit stop phase. Is that going to be possible? We get a new set of soft tyres on the car. It didn't look like the quickest of pit stops, and unfortunately it wasn't. Danny Kvyat just about getting ahead of us, so we need to overtake him as soon as we possibly can. So it looks like he locked up going through the tunnel now. Where's Danny Kvyat? He's behind us. Danny Kvyat has made a mistake at the end of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We've retaken the net lead of this race. How on earth has that happened? What on earth has gone on to Danny Kvyat? And there we are, coming out just behind our championship rival. There's Carlos Sainz. He's on a slightly different strategy, but he will be coming into the pits on the next lap. So we should be able to overtake him later on in the race. Let's have a look at replay though. What happened to Danny Kvyat coming out to the pits? Going down in towards the pit lane exit then, and he just locks up. He just goes straight on. There's nothing from myself. We didn't touch him or anything. Danny Kvyat just goes straight on at the end of the pit lane. Strange things happening. Is he wanting us to win the championship over his teammate? It seems like that's sort of a theme in this career mode, that your teammate doesn't want you to win the championship, as Danny Kvyat is doing a perfect example of that, running wide into the pit lane exit. How on earth has he done that? He's also damaged his front wing, I believe, as he hit the wall. How on earth has he done it? Yes, he has. He's broken his front right end plate on his front wing. Let's have a replay on board with the Toro Rosso driver. But how on earth has this happened in this race? This is crazy in the final race of the season. Danny Kvyat just running a little bit too wide in the tunnel. Unfortunately, all the crowd aren't actually going to see that because it is underneath the track. But Danny Kvyat, you have pretty much nearly handed me the championship in this race as Carlos Sainz comes into the pits on lap 20. He's pitting from third position at the moment, and it looks like his teammate Danny Kvyat is also coming into the pits as well because of that front wing damage. That means we won't be under pressure from the Toro Rosso driver at all in this race anymore, but it does mean that he has given position to his teammate, so he is helping his teammate in one way, that he gains another position in this race. We need Danny Kvyat though to come back, try and overtake Carlos Sainz and get the race not get the race win because we need that, but overtake his teammate to try and make sure that we win the championship. No problems there from Carlos Sainz as he comes out of the pit lane, not running wide like his teammate did, and he will come out in around, I think this is around 11th position or something like that. But there are still drivers that do need to pit in this race, including Nico Hülkenberg and Lewis Hamilton. As we cut ahead to the start of lap 23, Lewis Hamilton currently in the pits. There he is on the left hand side of your screens, going out of the pit lane right now. So we move up into second place. That means we are just behind our teammate of Nico Hülkenberg. So we're watching on board a battle between the two Williams drivers, Valtteri Bottas versus Felipe Massa, going through the chicane right now. And they get caught to each other, run each other wide into the barrier and putting each other into a spin. And how many times have we seen that happen on that corner? Drivers pushing each other wide, and Valtteri Bottas reverses into the wall And I believe, yes it has, it's given himself a rear right puncher. Valtteri Bottas, what have you done in this race? As Nico Hülkenberg pits from the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Hopefully, he comes out in front of Carlos Sainz, but he will be going onto his set of ultra soft tyres, so he will be very quick at the end of this race. As we're watching on board with Carlos Sainz, he's currently running down in 7th position at the moment, which means it is not enough for us to win the championship, and there he is overtaking Fernando Alonso for 6th position in this race. Is it Jenson Button or is it Fernando Alonso? It's Fernando Alonso, yes. He's overtaken Fernando Alonso for 6th position in this race, which means, as it stands, we are not good enough to win the Drivers' World Championship. We need more to happen in this race. We're cutting ahead to lap 25. 3 laps left to go in this race as Lewis Hamilton goes for an overtake on us on the left-hand side. We're going to squeeze him out as much as we possibly can over to the left-hand side, giving him the worst possible line into this chicane. So we're going to go round the outside in towards the first part, get the inside line for the second part. He's going to try a switchback move, but unfortunately for him, he loses the back end on exit, and that stops him from getting overtakes. It looks like Haryanto has a puncher, and his teammate gone into the back of him. Pascal Wehrlein is out of today's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It looks like the Red Bull of Max Verstappen got caught up as well, but Ria Haryanto with a front left puncher late on in this race is causing a lot of drama. And will this help us win the Drivers' World Championship? I believe he is behind Carlos Sainz, so I don't think it's going to hold him up. But if a safety car could come out or something like that, then it could certainly change the results of this race. So far it hasn't for the crash, but we have seen it before where it's come out just for a driver who has a puncher running very, very slowly. So maybe that could happen in this race here today. As there he is, the other Red Bull. No, it's the same Red Bull. Max Verstappen gets past him cleanly this time around. Felipe Massa, will he just... No, he doesn't. He goes into the back of him, puts himself into the wall, and the safety car has been deployed in today's race. Felipe Massa is out of the race, unfortunately for him, but the safety car is deployed with 2 laps left to go. It means that we won't be under pressure from Lewis Hamilton because he is on those ultra soft tyres. So it does mean that we get a bit of pressure taken off of us because of that. Here's a replay of Pascal Wehrlein just going into the back of Ria Haryanto, and he just couldn't get out of the way. And unfortunately for him, he is out of the race. Watching on board with Daniel Ricciardo, actually, it was not Max Verstappen, coming behind his teammate. Not his teammate, coming behind Ria Haryanto, sorry. And he just collects the back of Pascal Wehrlein. Nowhere really for the Red Bull driver to go. On board with Felipe Massa now. And he had a lot of different options to take, did Felipe Massa. He could have gone to the left or to the right, but instead he decides to just go straight into the back of Ria Haryanto. And here he is, the safety car coming in this time around. But like I said, we're not going to be under pressure from Lewis Hamilton, only on this final lap. So that means we just have 1 lap to defend from the Mercedes driver. But it does mean that there are going to be less chances for Carlos Sainz to be overtaken. However, the pack is really bunched up, so one mistake from him could lose loads of positions and be enough for us to win the Drivers' Championship. So here we are on the safety car restart. Lewis Hamilton's in 2nd with Kevin Magnussen right behind him in 3rd. All these guys need to just hold position in today's race. Jenson Button is in 4th, so if he could hold position behind Kevin Magnussen, that would really be nice as well. Sebastian Vettel with his car in 5th position. And then I believe it is Carlos Sainz right behind him in 6th. Yes, it is. So Carlos Sainz lining up in 6th place currently will win the Drivers' World Championship. And right behind him is Fernando Alonso on worse of tyres. I believe he is on. Yes, Fernando Alonso is on the worst of tyres with my teammate Nico Hülkenberg right behind him on ultra soft. So Nico Hülkenberg could do something in this race to help us win the World Championship. But here we are getting on the restart, getting the power down very early as the safety car is now in. Yellow flags out. We should go green anytime now. The safety car line is around now and it's gone green. And that means that Lewis Hamilton could possibly go for an overtake. But it also means that somebody could overtake Carlos Sainz in this race. We just need to keep our fingers crossed on this final lap of the championship. 21 races, and it all comes down to the final lap of the final race this season. Who is going to be crowned the Drivers' World Champion? Will it be myself or will it be Carlos Sainz? We're driving like that over the curbs though. It won't be myself, so we lose the back end just a little bit, allowing Lewis Hamilton to catch up to us. He is on the faster ultra soft tyres, which are hardly warm because the safety car came out very soon after he came into the pits. So we're on board with the Mercedes driver right now. Will he go for an overtake down in towards this first chicane? He's going to be following in the slipstream. Looks like the Renault of Kevin Magnussen also trying to go for an overtake, but he's just not quick enough as Lewis Hamilton moves over to the left-hand side. He actually collects the back of us, goes up the inside into the chicane. We swoop round the outside, though, trying to hold on to position. And luckily, we do manage to hold on to it. There is Lewis Hamilton right on our tail once again, using the slipstream, using the DRS, going to the left-hand side. No, he's not. He's just not quick enough to go for the overtake. That is exactly what we need in today's race as we come through the chicane. Now, it still looks like, though, Carlos Sainz is in that 6th position, which is what he needs to win the Drivers' World Championship. He has 1 position sort of safety buffer at the moment in this race as we come down towards the hotel section. Only a few corners left to go. If something's going to happen to Carlos Sainz, it needs to happen right now as we come through the last couple of corners. Can we defend from Lewis Hamilton? 1 corner left to go. We're going to come round the final corner to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It's been a fantastic race for us. Have we got the Drivers' World Championship? I don't think we have. I think that's going to go to Carlos Sainz. But it's been a great race at the end of the day. A great way to end the season. And Carlos Sainz is crowned the new Drivers' World Champion. So well done to him. Thoroughly deserved 8 race wins this season. And he definitely deserves his World Championship. What a way then to end Season 3. It was such a fantastic race. So much drama, so much action, so much excitement in the final race of this series. And we managed to win it from first position on the grid. So we got pole and we got the race win. We led pretty much from the start to finish. There was a few shaky moments in there, especially with Danny Kvyat. But then once he had the mistake, then we knew that we could definitely push on to win this race. Unfortunately, though, Lewis Hamilton did come back at us, and that made it a little bit scary. But fortunately, we did manage to win today's race. Lewis Hamilton, he finished in second with Kevin Magnussen in third, Jenson Button fourth, Sebastian Vettel fifth, and Carlos Sainz manages to get 6th position at the end of the day to win the Drivers' World Championship. Fernando Alonso finishes in 7th. Nico Hülkenberg on those ultra-soft tyres, unfortunately, just could not do enough to win the championship, and he finishes in 8th place with Julian Palmer 9th, Romain Grosjean in 10th, rounding out the top 10 and getting the final World Championship point in today's race. Looking further down the field then, Max Verstappen in the Red Bull finishing down in 13th place. Not a good day for the Red Bulls at all. Daniel Ricciardo down in 17th. Danny Kvyat with that problem in the pit lane finishes down in 15th place. Not a good race for him. Valtteri Bottas 1 lap down. The other Williams of Felipe Massa finishing down in 20th. And then Pascal Wehrlein and Nico Rosberg were our other 2 DNFs from today's race. So disappointing for those 2. But let's head over to the drivers' standings and confirm Carlos Sainz as our world champion. There we go then. It was 2 points in it at the end of the day between Carlos Sainz and myself. Such a close margin to miss out on. It's really disappointing, a little bit frustrating to miss out on our 2nd world championship by 2 points, especially with the comeback that we have been on. I mean, it was 67 points after the Malaysian Grand Prix. We managed to make that down to 2 points. We could have won it if it had gone a different way today, but unfortunately it didn't. Carlos Sainz, definitely a worthy champion today. Definitely deserves. He's had such a fantastic season. 8 race wins. He's been consistent. Maybe not as consistent as we have because we've had those DNFs, we've had those bad races, and we were still in that championship battle. But, you know, he definitely deserves that championship, and well done to him. But we will come back stronger next year, and we will try and beat him and get our 2nd world championship. In the constructors' standings, then it was pretty much guaranteed that Toro Rosso were going to win the Constructors' Standings. They won it at the Mexican Grand Prix, but they just had such a fantastic season. And we did well at the end to sort of come back and be in maybe a little bit of a championship battle, but unfortunately it wasn't enough at the end of the day, and they wrapped that up at the Mexican Grand Prix. We finished in 2nd place, still a really good result for Force India. Ferrari finishing in 3rd ahead of Mercedes. If Nico Rosberg finished that race, he could have actually helped them jump above Ferrari and take that 3rd spot. Renault with a disappointing season, finishing down in 5th place, and not like they had last season with myself down in 5th position. Really disappointing. McLaren Honda finishing in 6th. A disappointing season for Red Bull and Williams, both 7th and 8th. Manor Racing, though, they are starting to be a good team. 57 points on board, finishing in 9th place, with Haas down in 10th, and Sauber yet to score a point in this season. So that is it for today's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Let's head back to the menus. Taking a look at the final rivalry update then between myself and Danny Kvyat, and unfortunately he does beat us at the end of the day. If we maybe got a fastest sector 1 or a fastest sector 3 or something like that, then we may have been able to beat him. But he was very quick at the end of the race. Unfortunately, we just weren't quick enough and he beats us. But looking at the end of the season, we are delighted to announce that your performance has been above our expectations and you finished 2nd in the Drivers' Championship. You and your teammate Nico Hulkenberg also amassed enough points for us to rank 2nd in the Constructors' Standings. We look forward to progressing even further next season. Now take some time to relax. You've earned it. So a nice message there from Sahara Force India. We will relax between this season and next season, and we'll come back even stronger next season. But that is how our season has ended up. I think it was 11 or 12 podiums at the end of the day. We got 1 in China, Monaco, Canada, Azerbaijan, Austria, Britain, Belgium, Italy, Malaysia, Japan, Mexico, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi were all podiums, with Monaco, Azerbaijan, Belgium, Mexico, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi all being race wins. So it's been a fantastic season at the end of the day. This is how it compares to the previous seasons, though. Season 1 only getting 3 podiums or 4 podiums, and Season 2 getting a lot more race wins but not being as consistent with the podiums. We managed to finally sort out the final races of the season, so I'm very happy with that. But that is it for this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and that is it for Season 3. I hope you have enjoyed this season, because I certainly have. It's been a great season to watch, especially that battle between myself and Carlos Sainz develop. And the comeback, especially at the end of the season, was so amazing to come back from 67 points to catch up to only 2 at the end of the season. Disappointing to miss out, but we will come back even stronger for Season 4. You may be asking yourselves as well, which team are we be signing for Season 4? There wasn't actually any contract offers from any other teams. I went to the end of the season, and you know, usually like last season, we had our agent come up to us and she would offer us a new contract. But that didn't actually happen this season, which is a good thing it didn't, because I was going to sign with Force India anyway. I want to have one more season with those guys, max out the car, and try and win both the drivers and the constructors' standings with those. So once I've done that, then I will be able to move on to a new team. So Carlos Sainz is our Season 3 World Champion, and that wraps up an amazing season of my F1 2016 crew mode. Don't forget to smash that like button if you have enjoyed this season. Subscribe if you are new around here, and I will see you next time, next Thursday, when we get Season 4 underway. But until then, it's goodbye from me.